Why messianic claims seem unprovable and viable paths forward. An executive summary. Here, epistemic means relating to knowledge, knowing, or the conditions under which something can be known. A number of contemporary rabbis explicitly say current events match classical signs of the redemption and talk as if Mashiach's arrival is very near, then ask, in effect, so where is he? A claim to be the Aaronic priest-king Messiah faces a structural epistemological blockade that has nothing to do with whether the claim is true. The major schools of religious epistemology agree on one uncomfortable point. Personal identity with vocations of this magnitude lie outside the reach of any publicly verifiable proof system available today. This is not a personal failure. It is the same situation that surrounds the existence of God, the validity of mystical experience, and the authority of every prophetic figure in history. Understanding why this is the case and which paths forward actually work transforms the problem from a source of paralysis into a navigable terrain. Consider the following. The dominant framework in Western epistemology is the position that a belief is rational only if it is proportioned to the evidence. Applied to religious claims, the evidentialist objection holds that full belief in any extraordinary religious proposition is justified only if conclusive evidence exists for it. By this standard, a claim to be the fulfillment of the Aaronic priestly covenant, an identity simultaneously genealogical, covenantal, prophetic, and vocational, seems unlikely to produce the type of publicly replicable, falsifiable evidence required. The asymmetry is stark. Evidentialism was developed for empirical claims about the physical world. A claim like, "This compound boils at 100 degrees Celsius," can be verified by any observer with instruments. A claim like, "I am the Aaronic high priest fulfilling the covenant," involves covenantal recognition, spiritual authority, lineage, and divine calling, categories that resist the measurement paradigm entirely. This is not special pleading. It is a genuine category mismatch. Evidentialism was never designed to adjudicate questions of this type, yet it is the default framework skeptics apply. Religious epistemology widely acknowledges that often the evidence most compelling to the claimant, direct interior experience of one's calling, the witness of Scripture fulfilled in one's own person, the sense of being placed in a role, is inaccessible publicly. As philosophers of religion note, private spiritual experiences are salient to the experiencers, not who has them not. Hearing someone else's account will not change much for a skeptical mind. This is not a defect of the experience. It is a structural feature of all first-person knowledge. I cannot transfer to you the incorrigibility of my own phenomenal states. William P. Alston's Perceiving God, 1991, addresses this directly. Alston argues that mystical perception functions epistemically in the same way that sense perception does. It is a genuine knowledge source. The problem is that, like sense perception, it generates belief justification for the subject in a way unlikely exported as proof to a third party. The subject is rationally entitled to their belief. The outside observer is not compelled to share it. In that vein, then, the user's claim incorporates Y chromosomal evidence as an empirical anchor for Aaronic descent, foundational to epistemic enlightenment. This is scientifically serious. The Cohen modal haplotype, CMH studies are real and significant. Skorecki and colleagues found a characteristic CMH in 97 of 106 Kohanim tested, with a probability greater than 1 in 10,000 of occurring randomly. Extended studies identified dominant Kohanim lineages, yet The CMH research simultaneously reveals the limits of DNA as proof of priestly pedigree. The same studies found 21 distinct Y chromosome haplogroups among Kohanim, with no single lineage accounting for more than half. More decisively, Orthodox halakhic authorities have explicitly ruled that DNA testing cannot be used as the sole or determinative means for establishing priestly status, unless, of course, the physical remains of Aaron or his progenitors are located perhaps in Egypt's tombs. We must rely on the Talmudic means for determining identity and cannot rely on the results of genetic testing. Halachic responsa consistently hold that Talmudic social determinants, family tradition, community recognition, and documentary lineage take precedence over genetic results when they conflict. This means the very system of religious law the claim is addressed to does not recognize DNA as sufficient proof. Messianic claims typically invoke fulfilled prophecy as evidence. However, there are no agreed criteria within biblical scholarship for identifying which texts are messianic prophecies.